If you're for a law, will it apply to you? Do Michael Bloomberg's bodyguards carry the dreaded 9mm or .223 rounds? Do they have high-capacity magazines? Do Nancy Pelosi's bodyguards, which you pay for, do Mitch McConnell's bodyguards carry those rounds? Well, we wanted to know. Why wouldn't we want to know? Why don't we have a right to know? So we emailed all three of their offices today. And unlike, we have to say, Justin Trudeau's office, none of them even bothered to reply to us. So obviously they won't be disarming their own bodyguards. They'll keep their own weapons of war. In the meantime, they'll continue to pass legislation against weapons they know nothing about. They've been doing this for decades. We did a documentary on this, actually, and we spoke to probably the person who knows more about self-defense weapons than any living American, Hickok45, one of the most popular figures on YouTube and truly an expert on the use of firearms for self-defense. Here's part of what he told us.
And of course, it has the famous Tucker Carlson barrel shroud on it.
Barrel shroud.
Guns that
Hickok45 is referring to Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy of New York, who famously didn't understand the firearm she was trying to ban. Do you know what a barrel shroud is?
Time. I actually don't know what a barrel shroud is.
Because it's in your legislation.
It's a shoulder thing that goes up.
No, it's not. So a barrel shroud makes the rifle more deadly, right?
Yeah, really, shrouds that barrel. You know, a lot of what people come up with that do not know firearms, they just do not like them, they hate them, and you know, so they're looking for reasons to hate them. They don't know anything about the cartridges. A bullet is dangerous, let's face it. A hammer, a chainsaw, a ladder, a car, they're potentially dangerous.
Hickok45 joins us now. We're happy to have him. Hickok45, thanks so much for coming on. So it seems like the rhetoric has changed. If the president and people around him are now calling for banning 9mm ammo and .223, .556 ammo, the rounds used in the AR-15, that prevents most Americans from defending themselves, does it not?
Hi, Tucker. Well, yes, it is the most common, as you said, it's the most common defensive cartridge probably on the planet, certainly in the United States, as well as .556. Extremely common and light recoiling, very popular for young and old, target shooting, plinking, competition, it and the .556, the AR round, which is actually fairly light recoiling, yeah, and not considered powerful enough even for deer hunting in, I think, a lot of states. So, you know, there you go. You know, I'd like to say also before we proceed, you know, the event in Texas is just rips your heart out. As a former middle school teacher for over 25 years, it really is unimaginable. I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, and how you just can't even, it's unthinkable. We hear a lot. It really is. It truly is, because you get so close to those kids in the classroom, and so whether you're a gun owner or not, it's just horrible. Yeah.
But what's interesting is, and you know, we always give the benefit of the doubt to law enforcement. I think too few do. But this does seem like a case where we could learn something really important from the action and the failure to act by law enforcement on the scene, but we're blowing right past that and trying to take guns out of your closet. Why do you suppose we're not learning the real lessons here?
I don't know. You know, it almost makes you want to put your tinfoil hat on, doesn't it? And I'm not one for conspiracies, really, but these days, who knows? The thing that really bothers me is through the years, the anti-gunners, they refuse to really assist and get the schools protected, get the schools hardened, get the law enforcement officers in there, get the schools protected. First priority. This is, you know, for 8 or 10 years, they should have had this done by now. They'd rather focus on firearms, inanimate objects. You know, that's where they want all their clout going to ban guns and all their rhetoric. And meanwhile, the schools are not protected. They should have been protected by now. You can't protect against every eventuality, but you can certainly make a lot of progress. And they just ignore that, seemingly. Yeah.
If this, and I want to be as fair as possible, if the state of California has ended the requirement to report to law enforcement students who make violent threats, can you think of any legitimate reason to do that? If you wanted to reduce the number of school shootings, why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. A very good point, because you see comments online occasionally. I think about it, in today's environment, who would be silly or crazy enough to make a comment or a violent threat? Anything related to hurting people with or without a firearm
Right.
in a public forum to where people could hear you. Like, you either are crazy or you are planning to do something, you know? So, you know, they need to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. Hickok45
I mean, you know.
of YouTube fame. Great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks.